How's it going, guys? It's Jonah August, one half of The August. Today I'm making a video about balancing the Tamron 35-150mm f2 to 2.8 lens on a gimbal. Is it possible? Well, as you see, it does definitely look like it's possible. This is one of the main questions I had about this lens before I received it to review was, can it balance on a gimbal? Now, I don't have a heavy-duty gimbal at all, but as you see, it was still able to work. If you haven't checked out my comprehensive review about this lens yet, please check it out after this video. And before we go any further, hit those like and subscribe buttons. Now, the gimbal that I'm using is the DJI RSC2, but if your gimbal has these two characteristics that I'm about to share with you, then you shouldn't have any issues balancing this lens. All right, let's go over these two necessary characteristics. The first one is that you need to know your gimbal's max payload. So as you probably know already, each gimbal has a different max payload that it can hold. So I suggest doing a quick Google search, seeing how much your camera weighs, add that amount to the weight of the lens, which is just over 2.5 pounds, and see if your gimbal can hold it. The DJI RSC2 has a weight limit of 6.6 pounds, which is 3 kilograms. So in theory, it shouldn't have a problem balancing this lens at all. But that can be canceled out by the second characteristic that your gimbal must have, which is sufficient space to hold your camera and lens. I'm gonna show you how close the Tamron 35-150mm is from not fitting on this gimbal. Take a look at this. When I get it perfectly balanced, it's millimeters away from rubbing against this access point. Now, obviously, if you're using a bigger, heftier gimbal, there will be absolutely no problem balancing this lens. But for these smaller gimbals, you have to really make sure that it'll actually be compatible. Now, I want to talk about a potential issue that you could run into. You probably won't have to rebalance this lens for any of the more heavy-duty gimbals, but I did find once I zoomed past 100mm, it started to struggle a bit. The only issue is, if I slide the camera further back now to rebalance it, I'll hit the axis point. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. For me personally, it's not really that big of a deal. I generally don't film past 100mm on a gimbal, but if you guys are planning on doing it, definitely make sure that you have a heftier gimbal. Well, that is everything for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that answered all your questions about balancing the Tamron 35-150mm on a gimbal. If you have any other questions, please let me know in the comment section below. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video.